Welcome, everyone.
To
Can I Just Say One Thing podcast? That's Jess.
That's Demi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Game of Thrones.
Happy Game of Thrones Day.
It's here.
It's
It's
today.
here. Today.
Okay.
GOT. GOT.
I have spent the last 72 hours theorizing and
theorizing.
watching,
Okay.
mainly theorizing.
And
The
article you sent to the group about Bran, I've kind of had that in the back of my head because I've seen it so, around.
Yep.
Not that article, but the fact that he might be at fault for the whole thing. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I mean, look what he did to Hodor. Can we?
There is so much that I think about that theory, and I can't even describe it very well because I don't have the words to convey it.
Yeah.
So
So what are you thinking is going to happen?
I don't know that.
But do you have what is your what just in general? It doesn't have to be definite, obviously.
You mean who do I think is going to take the Iron Throne?
Anything that you think is going to happen in this last
Well,
season.
we know. I mean, if Jaime doesn't kill Cersei, I will be surprised.
Yeah, me too.
So that's a gimme. Obviously that's happening. One thing that I think may happen is I think some of the main characters are going to have to die.
Oh, yes.
If I don't want anybody to die besides Cersei and Euron. Fuck Euron.
Yep, absolutely.
If Dany does die, I bet you it will be her ice dragon.
That kills her. I know they are going to have to kill off very major characters. And I know
if you had to say between Jon or Dany, who would you pick?
to die, Jon.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because I think
Dany, it would be a really good ruler, though. I don't think that Jon really wants to do it. He doesn't want to rule. He's in a position.
Very put in the position.
Exactly. And he'll do it because he knows what needs to be done and he knows that's what's right.
Yes.
But he doesn't actually want to do it.
Yeah, he hasn't been after it for 7 seasons.
Exactly.
Like Daenerys
And
has.
I think that she really does. She's gonna be the best at the job.
But I get concerned because I do see signs of the Mad King in her.
But I bet you, any ruler has to be a little bit mad. You're governing
Totally
millions of people, in this world. So
I'm nervous about the Golden Company because that's the mercenary group from that Cersei hired from the
that's right. She paid them.
The bank.
Yeah.
Not the bank.
She gets a loan from basically I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
She
the coin.
The coin. Yeah. That's the coin.
Something coin. I don't know. But anyway, she buys this mercenary
army,
fleet
right.
of ships. But that's in the preview. But I don't want them to have a major role because who are you? We have not spent 7 seasons with you. Don't come in here and take over.
Stop introducing new people.
Don't.
We need to wrap this stuff up.
Yeah, I think that Theon is going to save Yara and die in the process.
Yes,
and I think that Yara is going to kill Euron. I think, what is her name? Eliana from Dorne, who is locked in the cell that Cersei locked in the cell with her daughter. I think she's going to get saved.
You do? Interesting.
I do. Because she didn't die, and neither did the daughter. So I wouldn't be surprised if
the
there
daughter
was
was supposed to
twist.
die. I thought
She is supposed to die because Cersei kissed her the same way that she kissed
her daughter,
Marcella.
Exactly.
But they didn't show her dying.
Yeah. I
It's
thought it was
pretty open-ended.
That's true. And anything is open-ended if you don't show somebody actually dying or dead.
Exactly. And so I think that maybe she'll still be alive, and maybe Qyburn will give her the potion for something. Maybe he thinks that this has gone on too far. I don't know. Also want to know what's going on. There's so many things I want to know.
I want
to watch
the
it
Hound
all.
to defeat the Mountain.
Clegane Bowl.
Clegane. Yes.
I want it all.
I know, me too.
I want the throne.
You want to know what I really wish that they did do in the series, but they didn't do, and they just don't have time to do it now, is with the mom, the Stark mom. What's her
Catelyn?
Yeah, Catelyn Stark. How they didn't like have her come back and be
know.
undead, you know, because that was like that in the books. So I'm kind of bummed they didn't.
That would
go
have been
there.
super cool. We just watched Littlefinger get his throat cut.
I love it.
Oh my god, it was so fun.
I mean, like, they had it so planned. Like, they were so smart the way that they did. He thought he was puppeteering, you know, the whole family.
He got so wrapped
Cocky.
up thinking that I'm untouchable, and I'm the one that's playing all the games, and I'm the one executing all these things, all these plans, that nobody is smarter than me.
Right.
And so I can get away with whatever I want. And Sansa said, I'm a slow learner, but I learn.
That just gave me chills. I don't know why that did what it did.
That when she said that, Benny and I looked at each other and were like, this is the best acting of all time.
Seriously?
No, truly.
Seriously.
No, I know.
I
know.
know. Everybody in this show
kills it. They
deserves
slay
an
every
award.
day.
All
Yeah.
Slay all day. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I do want to talk about Educated, obviously, and I
Yes.
do have so many things to say, but
But also, it's Game of Thrones Day.
Okay.
It's Game of Thrones Day.
But okay, I laid in bed one morning, or no, was it? Yeah, I think it was yesterday morning, and Brett was talking about the Masters, which just happened, and Tiger Woods won, which was great.
Golf. We're talking golf?
Again, we talked about golf again.
Yeah.
So Tiger Woods won, which was fun to watch. Brett watch Tiger win.
It was so funny, the video.
that
I
was
love it.
we should
I love
post
it.
that.
Yeah.
But so he was talking about Tiger, and then I was thinking about the book Educated,
Yeah.
and I was telling him all about it, and we were laughing so hard at just everything that we've been reading.
Oh,
Like, okay, like today we're going to talk about her going to Cambridge and stuff. And what was one? Oh, I think we talked about it last week about how she didn't know how to study.
yeah.
And she didn't know what the Holocaust was.
Right.
And I told that to Brett, and he just stared at me like, I don't understand what you mean. It's like, you can't even
Comprehend.
I don't even remember the time in my life when I didn't know what the Holocaust was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so for a college student to not know, like, it's just such a crazy thing.
It's truly crazy. And then when
Yeah.
she tells her professor, I just learned what it was a couple semesters ago, and the professor's like, what did you say? You
Yeah.
learned about it a couple semesters ago?
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of growth she does in
know.
college is really cool. So are we going to get into it?
I
or
think we
Game
should.
of Thrones, or...
We can't talk, like, you and I are going to talk after, so let's get, this is going to be a really fast episode.
It has to be.
Because it has to be, because we have to watch Game of Thrones in, like, 30 minutes. So, but, like, are we going to watch can we watch the last couple episodes of season 7?
Obviously.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
So cheers.
Cheers to the Masters. Cheers to Game of Thrones especially.
Especially.
Cheers to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we also get to eat cookies later today.
Shiloh's making
Shadow's making cookies. Yes. Also, I brought my box of notes.
And Jess has her notes, so she gets to read for finally.
Well,
For finally.
You still have to read too.
Well, I think I'm gonna give you the
No.
lead. Yeah.
There's too many.
know.
I think what's gonna have to happen? You're gonna
Yeah.
have to pick your hand.
Yeah.
And just pick one.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Agree.
All right.
Okay,
Educated.
let's get into it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Educated.
Educated by Tara Westover, a memoir.
Westeros, what? It all ties back.
That's what this whole episode's about. How educated is really Game of Thrones
Yes. They're
set
in
in
Westeros.
the 2000 something. Okay, so it starts off. She's in chapter 20 or 19. 19. What happened in chapter 19? Because I didn't write about it.
I think she comes back from college, and her dad's like, "You're working."
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. So yet again, her dad is
A dick and
A dick.
bipolar.
bipolar, also super
Reckless.
Controlling?
Oh, so controlling.
mhm. And Tara comes back, doesn't want to work for her family, wants to kind of. I need to sneeze again. Fucking allergies.
I know. It's not so crazy over here.
Sorry, it's like right there. Okay.
I was like, oh, I know. I'll scare her. That's a hiccup.
And it's like so innocent too. I'll scare her.
I know what I'll do here.
That's the ticket.
What's that from again? That's
Sweet Home
the ticket.
Alabama. Sweet with the Reese
No,
Witherspoon.
I hate it. It makes me so uncomfortable when you say it.
It's just,
Stop it.
that's the ticket.
It's so
just
not you.
I know. That's why I
No
love
tickets
it.
to be had.
No, I don't take tickets. Anyway.
Oh, I had a question
Yeah.
that isn't necessarily pertaining to any chapter. It's basically just across the board since we've introduced Sean.
Yes.
So he's had serious brain injuries multiple times. I think that he was most likely going to be some type of abusive grow up into, you know what I mean? Just because of like his surroundings and who his dad was.
Right.
But do you think that maybe the brain damage intensified his violent outbursts?
I mean, it definitely could be a thing that happens, right? Because he was already abusive before the brain injuries. And
I think like knocking your brain around, it just amplifies that.
and the reason why I think that as well is because how we love true crime so much, anytime that there's a huge brain injury with people,
they're serial killers. So Sean is a serial killer.
Maybe.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy.
That would be so.
That would be our next book.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy. Like, yeah, she comes out with like part 2. My brother's a serial killer.
Yeah.
When I went to Cambridge, he started murdering.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she comes back anyway. Doesn't want to work for dad, but then her dad basically is like, "You can't live here if you don't work for me." And so she has to quit her job and work for her dad.
Yes.
Always putting themselves in dangerous situations.
And she's
Starts to
casually dating that guy,
Charles.
Is it Charles?
I think it's Charles. Friends with Charles, talked about all things besides. Yeah. Charles. So he's still in high school. Technically, she should be in high school too. She's 17.
What freaked me out. That's right. That's what I texted you.
You're like, how old is she?
So she turned out to be a pedophile.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
She's not. No.
You guys.
She's 17. She's fine.
Words out of our mouth.
The words I just said, don't take them.
Don't listen to me.
Don't.
Wait, come back.
Wait. Listen to me.
Listen to me.
Yeah, so she starts casually dating. It's kind of like a complete 180 degrees from what her family life is, because they're always talking about end of days at the house. You know, everything is, we're against everybody, the government, medicine, blah, blah, modern medicine. And then she talks to Charles, and it's just like normal.
Right.
And she has, what does she have? She has like a tooth. Is it a tooth?
No, not toothache. She has like just like an ache.
An ache.
Oh no, you're right. She did. She had a throat. She was sick.
Yeah, sick.
And he was like, "No, are you sure?" I think
the toothache was in college later, but there was a.
I think
there was something where she was in pain, but she couldn't talk. So I think it was with her throat or something like that. She just had like the sore throat or something.
Oh, that's right. And then he gave her the ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Charles, her dad and Sean thought she was becoming uppity because she cleans up.
Shower.
Yeah, cleans up, and then also, she's going to college, so she's learning things. So how can you be like that emotionally abusive to somebody?
Because they're mentally ill, and they're taught that women should be submissive. So any type of ambition, which we will get into ambition in a bit.
I'm so mad.
Oh.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
any I think they see it not as ambition, but as rebellion.
I think so too.
So
yeah. Well, it kind
of
is rebellious.
She's such a rebel. She wants to learn about the Holocaust.
I know.
So weird.
Like, wants to be a learned person. Like, what?
Yeah, terrible.
So
sorry for you.
The one thing I want to talk about that is just so appalling to me is that Sean starts calling her the N-word.
Okay, yeah.
So before, Tara had no idea what that even meant.
Yeah.
She didn't understand the connotation of what it means. And so it never fazed her, but once she went to college and came back, and he started calling it to her, and she had a visceral reaction, like, don't call me that. He started calling her it more.
He latched onto that, because that's what he wants to do, is just hurt her.
And literally, all I have on here all the time is asshole, asshole, asshole.
Yes.
Sean is a horrible person.
Terrible. And so is there anything else before she's writing in her diary about him that you want to mention?
I'm not sure. And also, it was an earache that she had, not a sore throat.
Okay.
I actually wrote it down. Like, if I consulted my notes, maybe I'd find the answer.
Consult your notes.
Consult them. Earache was gone after taking pills, and I was like, no, duh.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we all know that.
Failing algebra, and then...
getting the 100%.
And then getting the 100%.
That was when she had the toothache, right?
She was also having stomach ulcers. That's when she had
because she was had so much anxiety about like the money and stuff, and the bishop kept trying to say like, we will figure this out. Just stay on track.
Right.
Just don't let this consume you. And it did consume her.
I just can't. What?
When she gets the check for $4,000
and she's like, oh,
whoa.
This is a little too much.
Yeah.
How do I return all this extra money that I have?
Like, stop fucking around with me.
Yeah, she calls back the lady and she's like, you gave me too much money. Can I send this back and you can write me a check for a lesser amount?
What we're talking about is Tara getting the grant.
Yeah, so Tara gets the grant.
She feels terrible about doing it. She doesn't want to do it because she's been conditioned her whole life that
to not accept money from the government.
The government gives you money, then they own you and they control you. And so she's having a super hard time like debating on if she wants to go through with submitting the paperwork. And I think it's her roommate.
Her roommate like pushes her to do it, but she also has a bishop that's like, you need to do it. Yeah, encourage it.
But her roommate like goes with her and tells her exactly what to do.
Thank goodness for that roommate.
I know.
Yeah. I hope they're still friends.
That would be cute.
That would be really cute.
I like
but
that.
Tara in real life isn't Mormon anymore, so if her friend's Mormon, I wonder if that would do anything.
I don't know.
Not necessarily, I guess. Okay, so yeah, so she gets a grant. She wants to return some of the money. The lady's like, no, keep the whole thing. Yeah. Keep it or don't.
Truly, we don't care.
Yeah. And so it's the first time like in her life where she's not stressed about
that's
money.
So she had to go get the paperwork about her social security number.
Yes.
And
so crazy.
Or her parents' tax information. And she tries to break into the house at 3 a.m. and Sean almost shoots her. For no reason too. Like, why are you up?
So, and then she says in the book, like, I never asked why he was up waiting for somebody. Yeah. And he never asked me what I was doing. We just never spoke about it again. What is happening in this family? Why are there secrets like that? That's so weird.
I don't know.
Who is he waiting
They don't know each other.
No, they don't.
That's the weird thing is, like, I know my family so well. Like, I just can't relate to this, like, living in the same house, growing up with these people, yet you don't know anything about them.
Because everything's secret.
Tara probably doesn't know... Tara knows when things will set off her dad or what makes her dad happy, unhappy, but doesn't know him.
Right.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
So weird.
It's so weird. Yeah. So she goes back home for Thanksgiving. Charles is supposed to come over for the Thanksgiving dinner. And, I mean, he does.
He comes over.
And basically Sean just attacks her.
What? Did we forget about the grocery store?
Oh.
Let's back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Just... When is...
Actually, that might be after because I think it's after. Okay.
Okay. So
many things.
Well, basically, it's all just Sean being very abusive to her.
Yeah.
So Sean, like, jabs her in the
She's
ribs.
Like carrying a plate.
Yeah.
And Sean is just constantly screwing with her.
And I think, too, to kind of show Charles, like, well, I get to do whatever I want. Like, it's a very assertive way for his dominance to show his dominance. I possess
this person.
Exactly. Yeah. So just keeps messing with her, like you said, and Tara doesn't even yell it. She's just like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
And he flips the fuck out, and
so disgusting.
It's so bad. Like, not only does he like basically attack her, he then carries her to the bathroom to put her head in the toilet. And Tara doesn't want to... She's so embarrassed because Charles is there. She fights back. They fall into the bathtub. She breaks her toe. And she tries to... She starts laughing because she wants to play it off like it's such a joke. And, oh my gosh, my brother's such a joker. You know, don't take it serious. But Charles runs out of the house. Because he's freaked out.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
That you're watching abuse. And I'm sure that Sean is a big guy. And Charles is probably super intimidated.
He's like 17.
Yeah, also that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So breaks her toe. And Sean comes in later. And she thinks he's going to apologize. But she just, like, without saying anything, yanks her toe to like put it back into place. I just can't imagine that pain.
No.
It grosses me out to like I know that abuse happens like with romantic couples and stuff, and they come back and apologize, they do all this, but for some reason
siblings,
it's just weird.
So
it's
strange.
It's the same type of thing where he keeps coming back to apologize,
right? And like even like gifts, the necklace or whatever, the pearls. It's just like, I feel you on that. Like it's a hard thing to like understand. Not that I understand spousal abuse. No, I don't.
Yeah,
but it like it's the weird
common things that are happening in these abusive relationships is crazy.
I wonder why he's so possessive over her, though.
I don't know. I wonder if he was like that with his other sister.
I don't know.
Audrey. Why do I
always do that? Always call her Aubrey.
I do that with people that are actually named Aubrey and Audrey in real life.
You'll switch them?
I'll switch the B and the D. I have no idea why. I just can't get it in my head which one they are.
Is this when Charles breaks up with her?
Right. Okay.
So I don't remember exactly what he says.
Well, basically, I think from what I remember, he says he's creeped out by what's happening, and she's not being transparent with Charles because she also is in denial.
She
and
always
doesn't want
keeps
to.
her relationship with him at arm's length.
Yes.
And I think he thinks that he can like slowly take down the wall.
It's like, I can change them.
I can fix you.
I can fix you. Yeah. But Tara knows that her family is different, and she knows that because Charles is obviously very different. Like, their house constantly smells like rotting plants, and she didn't know that, and he had mentioned it.
Right.
And even told her, well, you smell like it all the time, too. Oof. And then it's just like, oh, she had
no
idea.
What?
She had no idea. So it's just very, like, us and them kind of...
What does that smell? Is it the oils?
I don't know. Probably. Well,
and they probably don't shower very much.
Yeah. Also that. Ugh. Or wash their hands when they go to the bathroom.
Oh, my God. So weird.
So weird. Yeah, so he breaks up with her. Basically, like, I can't do this. Like, I do love you, but I can't do this. I can't... And then she's trying to avoid him. She wants to make sure that she doesn't see him. And Tara and Sean are out working for their dad. And they're like, okay, well, let's go get lunch. We'll go to the store. And she sees Charles's Jeep in the parking lot or whatever. And she's like, I don't want to go inside. You can go ahead and go in. To Sean. She says that to Sean. And Sean's like, you're coming in. He's such an ass.
She, like, refuses to get out of the car. And he is like, he... wrestles her again.
Yeah, drags her out, almost breaks her arm. Wrist snaps.
She sprains her wrist. And
her ankle is all fucked up now too.
It was already messed up.
Yep.
From something happened while they were working, and her toe is still messed up.
Yeah, I think the from before, just when wrestling and falling into the bathtub when he was being abusive at Thanksgiving too.
Yep.
Yeah, besides the toe. So yeah, he wrestles her out. In front of everybody in the parking lot, and makes her go in. So she has to go into the store. And I mean, she doesn't see Charles in there, but it's just like...
and she's, like, laughing hysterically the whole time.
She's
like,
so embarrassed.
Anything that Sean says, she just instantly is cracking up.
Yeah, so it's sad. It's a sad relationship, that's for sure. I mean, he's a piece of shit.
He constantly is apologizing. And so I think after that incident in the store... she goes into her journal and she writes down.
Finally.
She said it was different because she wrote down the incident and not, how did she put it?
She basically glosses, like she puts like...
But he did it because we were just kidding around about this.
Like she lies
like
in
how
her
abuse
journal.
Victims do.
Yeah.
How they justify the abuser's actions.
Totally.
Well, if I had done this differently, then they wouldn't have had to hit me. Like they, you know.
Right. But she finally recounts the truth. She's like, I'm kind of done.
Yeah. With
glossing over this. Yeah. You know?
So she just writes down like the Stark fact. Ooh, Ned Stark. Starks. Okay.
Winter is here today.
Here.
Winter is today. Winter has arrived. Okay. What if like the first episode is like the war with the White Walkers? Like what if that...
Jeez. Wow.
You know what I mean? There's only 6 episodes.
I know. But this is a short episode. It's only 54 minutes. I know.
Don't come out with me that fact.
I know.
Of a short episode.
I know.
I wasn't mentally prepared.
No, I think each episode should have been an hour 20.
Minimum.
That's my standard.
Okay, what's going on? Ned Stark. Educated. Okay, so she starts getting asked out for dates.
Okay.
And someone tells on her to the bishop that somebody in their church a woman in the church doesn't believe in marriage, is against marriage. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so she's getting asked out by different guys in her church back home. And she just says no to them because she's not interested. And someone, that doesn't say who, tells on her to the bishop that a woman she is against marriage. So the bishop talks to her and like, marriage is God's plan. And so it's just like
I don't remember that at all.
You don't? It's chapter 23. It's just the pressure of being a woman.
Oh my god.
Is just too much. Too much.
Because I didn't get what I want. There's something wrong with her.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That men should get what they want. I want to go on a date with you because
you better say yes.
Yeah. And, you don't want to go out with me? That means that you don't believe in marriage.
Yep.
What the freak association is that? Like, in your mind, like, oh, yeah, it's totally just her. It's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
Can we not?
They did.
It's so ridiculous.
They absolutely did.
This is a chapter that's called I'm from Idaho. So.
Oh, that's right.
When her dad thought she was pregnant. When
oh yeah, that was so weird. Like her parents are debating it, and she was like touching her stomach, and she's like, "I had never kissed a boy."
Yeah, she's like, "Am I pregnant?" Because she had no idea how to get pregnant, even though she'd seen babies being born.
Yep.
Yeah, and hadn't even kissed a boy. Why did he think that? Because when she was doing plays in town, people were starting to talk about her, and then Sean came home and said, "Oh, people are saying things about your daughter." Basically, like, saying that she's like other women in town. And that's when her dad's like, "You're pregnant, aren't you? Blah, 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 blah." It's like...
What?
And he's, like, regretful that he let her do those plays. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're not, though, because you kept letting her do them because you got to show her off.
Yep.
So, the bishop of her school, like, of her church at school, didn't even want her to go back home, which I think is kind of interesting.
So interesting. He saw how toxic or could just tell how toxic.
I mean, they talked so much. She was basically seeing him like a therapist. She was seeing him every single Sunday and talking to him every single Sunday.
Yep.
And he's just like, "You can't go back." And she's like, "Well, I can't afford to stay here."
And that's when he was like, "We'll figure it out
for you.
We'll
figure it out." And she's like, "But I can't take money from you guys. Like, the church." He's basically saying, like, the church will pay for it. And she's like, "I can't do that. That's not right." And then at one point, for the whole toothache that ends up happening, she ends up having a cracked tooth that she woke up from the middle of the night because I think she probably, like, slammed her mouth and, and it was going to cost $1,400 for her to fix it. And he was like, "Don't worry, the church will pay for it." She's like, "No, I can't take the money."
Yeah.
And he writes her a personal check from his own checkbook to go get her tooth fixed. And she holds it for a while. And she's like, "I can't take this."
Yep.
And that's when the whole grant thing comes in, where he's like, "You need to apply for a grant."
And then is this the next part? What chapter are we on?
24. We're going to get into 24. Ruby Ridge. Is that what we're talking about? So, yeah, we're going to get into chapter 24. And that's, what's it called? And Demi had, you knew it.
Premonition.
A knight errant. She's in, what class is she in? So she was in Psych 101. A few minutes before the bell rang, a student asked what role mental disorders might have played in separatist movements. I'm thinking of famous conflicts like Waco, Texas, or Ruby Ridge, Idaho. And Ruby Ridge stands out to Tara. Yeah.
So after the class, she goes to the library and she looks up Ruby Ridge, and then she learns all about the Weavers. Which we heard about in like the first chapter. Yeah, because her dad told her that the Weavers were a family that were gunned down in their homes by the FBI because they wouldn't send their kids to public school.
Right.
And
turns out that's not the story, obviously.
Not even. I mean,
parts of it.
No, not even generally. Like, it's some things are partially true.
Like, the government was there, and the government did kill the son, so the son goes out, and the mother. And the baby? No, baby's alive, but her dad has been telling her whole life that the dad, Mr. Weaver, whatever his real first name is, Randy Weaver, was dead. Like, they also killed him, but he was alive this whole time. So
the lawsuit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they won a lawsuit against the federal government. Oh, and then white supremacy played a part in this too.
Yep. They
How
were
does-
like,
yeah.
the Weavers were leaders of some white supremacist group or something.
Right.
And weren't they like, were they selling weapons?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
basically black market.
Yeah.
They were sawing off
Shotguns?
which is illegal to do. You can't saw it off
Yeah,
to make a short barrel.
I mean, yes, it's illegal. And so it was pretty crazy that the FBI would go in and like open fire like that.
Which is what the lawsuit was.
That was,
so,
yes.
which is why the Weaver family sued the government saying you can't,
Open fire.
Open fire like
but
that.
basically the dad, so Tara's dad took the story, blew it up in his mind to be something that would work for him.
Exactly. Which is, don't send your kids to public school.
Yep. The government's out to get you and everything's terrible.
So crazy.
I
That's
know.
so random. How to associate that to like completely fabricate a story in your own mind and believe it. It's not, he believes the stuff he
Yes.
says.
Yeah.
Everything he says is law, and everybody follows suit because they have this whole time. And basically the glass is shattered in Tara's mind.
Yep.
She's like, I want to start removing myself from this situation. I'm seeing that it's very toxic.
Yep.
It's clicking that it's toxic.
Yes.
She's already kind of known it,
Yep.
but has been like lying to herself about it.
Yeah, she's like seeing all these things. It's not someone telling her like your dad is bad. It's putting it together in her own mind. And it's like,
and that's how you have to do it.
oh,
You have to
my
do it in your mind.
dad is wrong. My dad can be wrong. My dad's word is not law. Which I think everybody kind of goes through. I know I went through that intensely. I know you went through that. Yeah, but this was just extreme.
Absolutely. Yep. And then from there, she starts dating
Nick. Yeah.
Also, is it her tooth that she has to take antibiotics? No, she gets strep and mono at the exact same
Yes.
time. And the dentist, or the doctor, dentist, yes, they now diagnosed for that stuff, has said that he's never seen anybody with two at once because she couldn't talk. She couldn't do anything. And her boyfriend, Nick, is like, you need to go to the doctor.
She wouldn't go for a long time. And she's like, no. And she was like, oh, no, that's when she had the toothache, when she was like pumping
also that.
ibuprofen.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Your tooth.
Yeah, no, just like the idea
I
of like,
know.
and then putting so much ibuprofen into your body,
So
like your
bad.
body's like, is it gonna shut down? Your
Yes.
kidneys are working so hard. So she gets mono and strep, and finally goes to the doctor, and she has extreme guilt for taking antibiotics
Oh, yeah.
because. Again, her mom has told her that if you take any type of antibiotic or anything, it's going to stay in your body forever. What is this? Right? Like,
what are you talking about?
what is happening in this family? Like, how?
I think the mom probably has some mental illness too.
Well, yeah, I would kind of assume so.
Yeah.
Because that would kind of only make sense to kind of go along with the dad's.
Craziness.
Yeah. So she has the guilt about the antibiotics. Taking them, she's like,
She calls her mom.
she calls her mom to like confess that she's taking antibiotics. Her mom sends her a crap ton of herbs,
And like foot soaks.
all these things, not for her strep or mono,
Yeah.
but to rid her body of the antibiotics. Like, start taking these immediately so the antibiotics don't stay in your body. What is happening? I can't even imagine. They're obviously, like, we all haven't had like perfect childhoods and stuff like that, but like, I just can't even empathize with this because I have no idea. It's so over my head.
I know.
With what
It's
the heck is
beyond.
happening.
It's
Yes.
absolutely beyond.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow and Dany. Maybe they'll
Oh
fuck
my
again.
god, his butt.
His butt's good.
Whoa.
Whoa. Her butt's good too. She has
Her
a really
everything is good.
Let's be real. She has really nicely. Unless they've changed it,
Photoshopped her boobs.
maybe because they're very even. Like her areolas are very even. Okay, no more boob talk. No more Dany boobs.
I'm good.
Okay. I mean, I guess we could just get into.
Are we getting into chapter 27? I'm very excited.
What's 27? Is that
When
the?
she talks to her super fun friend Josh.
Oh
about
no,
law
we're not there yet.
school. Okay.
We will though. We will get there. Fuck Josh, dude. Fuck this. Okay, so before that, she wants to distance herself from her dad. She doesn't want to take his calls right now for whatever, I can't remember the reason.
Well,
She doesn't want to work for him anymore.
I don't think she's like, I'm not going to come home.
Yeah. Dad tries to call, doesn't take the call, but then her sister calls and is like, you need to come home right now.
Yep.
And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, if you want to say goodbye to Dad, you need to come home right now. But let me just spoil this for you. Nobody dies in this family. You can try to kill him with a head injury multiple times.
Multiple car accidents.
Multiple
fires.
A tank exploding. Don't worry. They won't die.
They're fine.
It's fine because they'll make it through.
So maybe we're all just wusses and we have a really low pain tolerance.
I must.
But her mom okay, let's talk about it.
So, sister calls, Tara, come home. She goes home, finds out that a tank exploded and hit her dad, and the lower half of his face completely liquefied. Liquefied.
His skin.
His skin.
His on fire.
Jaw below his nose, he doesn't have a face. And his hands are all messed up because it hit his hands too.
Well, okay, I think with his hands, what happened was he still has his hands.
He does still have his hands.
But it was exposed, like tendons. And I know.
That word! Why did I just have that reaction?
And the tendons tightened. They constricted when they were drying. And it formed his hands weird.
Like into claw-like hands.
Lobster hands.
Lobster hands.
But upside down. Yeah.
No. Fingers don't go that way. Her dad decided, of course, not to go to the hospital. Would rather die than go. They do almost lose him. Like I said, you can't kill them, though.
You know what's weird?
What?
Is that, like, last week, and I think the week before, we were talking about, like, how his dad only uses his lifestyle to benefit him.
Right.
But in that moment, like, when you're in that much pain...
The most excruciating
he really just, like, stood
to
for...
his guns.
For what he wanted. So
yeah.
that was...
I mean, that's to be in that much pain. I mean, your heart actually stops
several times. I think like twice, right? Yeah.
And I mean, he almost died. The descriptions that she writes in this book are insane. Yeah. I mean, of what he looked like, how he kept like gasping for air, but his lungs are also burned.
Oh, and Tyler even came home. And Tyler was helping.
Exactly. He came all the way from like Purdue. He goes to Purdue now or something like that.
And he's like married
with a kid on the way or something like that. And you had to they also had to like feed him like a toddler
because with like an eyedropper or something.
Like a little bird feeder.
Yep.
And he just believes like if it's the Lord's plan, he'll die or he'll make it through. But he also wanted to feel, he felt that he should feel the pain. He thinks that the Lord wants him to feel this pain. I'm just like,
that's sick.
No. Modern medicine is a thing for a reason. Yeah.
And we have it.
Yeah.
And you can also have it.
You can also have it. I mean, I wonder if his fingers would have healed properly. I'm sure they would have.
He would have been fine.
Yeah. And the mom creates like this salve. They call it like a miracle salve later on or something like that. That they went through 17 gallons within the first like few weeks or something like that from lathering him up so much. Dad doesn't die. Sean gets engaged to a woman named Emily.
Yeah.
Emily thinks Satan tempts him, but that Sean is gifted.
It's so weird.
And that he's a spiritual man, and I said, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because if you were, you wouldn't be beating
your
people
sister.
Or being abusive to your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, now let's get into her friend Josh, because let's go there.
Okay, so
if I were a woman... is the chapter's
right
title.
Yes. Okay, so in chapter 27, Tara and her friend Josh are like studying for a midterm or final or just studying together.
And she also went to BYU to major in music. Like she wanted to come back home and teach music.
Right.
But when she got to BYU, she's like, there's so much to learn.
Yeah. She's like, what is anything?
What is anything?
What is the Holocaust?
Truly, what is the Holocaust for her? She decided to take a whole class on, like, Jewish history. And just goes off and takes geography and this and that. Like, nothing to do with music because she just is, so craving enthralled to learn. Yeah. And her friend Josh. Who's who? Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Up until about season 4, I had no idea who was who. I'm like, the blonde.
That one.
Yeah.
She asks her friend, so you want to be a lawyer. Would you want to be a lawyer if you were a woman? He's like,
No, of course not.
No.
Because women don't have the same ambition as men. Women are really driven for starting families and having children and being homemakers. And she's like, okay, yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, yes, 100%. But what if you were a woman and you felt this pull to do law? And he says, well, then I know that something was
is wrong with me.
And she's like, right. Cool.
I hope she like stopped hanging out with him after that.
I hope she did too.
I hope she's like, get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to see your face.
Get out of here.
Okay, we took a slight pause.
It was like a 20-minute intermission to talk about Bran and Hodor. But like, okay. If you guys have insight on Bran, like, please let me know. I have so many time traveling questions. I'm very
confusing.
Concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, Josh.
So
they have this whole conversation. Josh is a dick. We hate Josh.
Yeah. He also doesn't show up that we know of again, so goodbye.
Yeah, bye forever. So, but then Tara is still very, like, questioning her, like, is there something... I feel like she's saying, is there something wrong with me that I have this ambition?
Well, I think that it does freak her out because she is starting to disassociate herself from her family. Like, she's not wanting the same thing. She's afraid that she has her own mind, I think. You know, like, it's a very intimidating thing when you've been told to think certain things your whole entire life, and then all of a sudden you start questioning. It's just like people that leave cults. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, wait, I didn't have to be a part of this. I don't have to go along with this, even though I was born into it. You know? So, you're absolutely right. I think, you know, she's wondering if something's wrong with her. And the answer is no.
No, not at all. And so then she goes for, like, counsel... to her professor, her Jewish studies professor, and he lets her know that no, there's nothing wrong with you. First of all, and he encourages her to
like study abroad.
I was going to say audition. Apply for a scholarship to go to Cambridge. And she's like, okay,
how cool would that fucking be?
Oh, don't. I like, after that chapter, I was just, like, living in my fantasy life.
Like, why didn't I go to Cambridge? Oh, wait, I couldn't get in? Okay, that's probably why, I guess.
Oh, I'll give you so many reasons why my ass couldn't go to Cambridge.
Wouldn't be able to get in. Wouldn't be able to afford it. Scared?
Don't want to go to Cambridge.
Scared. Also, that's so far. But I would want it.
Far.
But yeah, no,
I mean, I'd go.
If I was given the opportunity,
I'll go. So, and she's like, yeah, I don't even have a passport. I don't know how old I am.
What is time?
What is a birthday? What is time? Bran.
It all comes back. I told you Educated was basically Game of Thrones, but a memoir.
Not wrong.
She applies. She doesn't actually get in, but the professor is able to get her in.
I have
a little bit of a pull. Just like a connection. Just like a baby connection to get you to go to Cambridge. Do
you want to go?
And she's like, I don't know, do I?
Yeah. And then, so she's like, all right, let's do it. And so then...
She has to get a passport.
And her aunt goes and...
has to sign an affidavit that she was actually...
That's like one of my favorite words. Can I just say?
Is it? Then say it.
Affidavit. Because it's so weird.
It's such a weird word.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, has nothing to do with
I like
anything.
that that's like a favorite word of yours. That's cool.
Anytime it gets to be used, I'm just like, oh, yes.
Wordgasm.
Everything. Everything is right in the world.
So she goes. She feels out of place, though, because... her friends are like talking about like you need a whole different wardrobe to be in England.
She's like, what is a wardrobe?
Yeah. I have pants
and a t-shirt and keds.
And keds. I like keds though. Good for her.
Yes. So she's there and she's feeling out of place and like she's not good enough. So
she meets up with a professor at Cambridge who's been there for 30 years.
I love him.
He's good. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yes.
And he doesn't even like have her do the curriculum necessarily. He's like, we'll read what you want to read.
Oh, can we talk about the part with the wind?
Yeah.
That was a good. Sure. Can you read it actually? Can you pull it up? Because pull it up on your book.
Pull it up.
So she like, it's like one of her first days at Cambridge, and one of their classes, they're like going, I don't really understand where they were.
I think they're just on a rooftop somewhere or something like that.
With the professor though.
Like
And
a little class field trip.
yeah. And so she goes up and she's so confident standing somewhere that's pretty dangerous, and the wind is whipping, and yeah, she's just feeling really out of place. What? No.
What?
I have no control over what my mouth says.
What do you mean she's out of place?
She's out of place, but I just said she's really confident.
Oh, she's out of place at Cambridge, but confident on the
standing
rooftop.
in the wind.
Yeah.
And her professor's like, how are you doing this? And she's like, you guys are letting your fear of the wind control your stance, and it's actually making you more uneasy, whereas I'm accepting the wind for what it is. I'm still standing here. I would still be standing in the wind if I were standing on the ground.
Yep.
Which I don't know.
He basically said, so he's like, this is the first time I've seen you at home in yourself. It's the way you move. It's as if you've been on this roof all your life. And she says, I've roofed my share of hay sheds, I finally said. So your legs are stronger? Is that why you can stand in the wind? I had to think before I could answer. I can stand in the wind because I'm not trying to stand in it. The wind is just wind. You could withstand these gusts all on the ground, so you can withstand them in the air.
Yep.
There is no difference, except the difference you make in your head. He stares at me blankly. He understood. He hadn't understood. I'm just standing, I said. You are all trying to compensate, to get your bodies lower because the height scares you. But the crouching and the sidestepping are not natural. You've made yourself vulnerable. If you could just control your panic, the wind would be nothing. The way it is nothing to you, he said. So it's just interesting because it's like...
It's a moment for someone to see her confidence.
See her confidence, and also, like, if she could take the lesson that she just taught this professor
Exactly.
and apply it to the rest of her life. You know what I mean? Like... You are teetering in your day-to-day life around these people you feel uncomfortable around because you're trying to compensate, because you feel that you're less than. You know what I mean?
Preach this lesson.
But, like, instead of going against it, it's
embrace.
okay.
Just embrace the wind and
the learning.
The wind beneath my wings.
It's just, it just makes me sad that she feels like dumb because she doesn't know all the things. But, like, you're at school to learn the things. So it's okay. Like, I know it does suck because I've definitely felt dumb myself.
Only all the time.
All the time. But maybe it's a lesson for us too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay, this was crazy. So I had to go get my my college transcripts for my job.
Right. Yeah.
And so I went and I got them, and I was like, ugh, I don't even want to see what my grades were. I don't even know how I passed. I had good grades. I was so
I believe it.
What? I was so down on myself all the time. Yeah. And they were okay. They weren't great. They weren't straight A's.
Right.
But it was like A's, B's, C's.
Right.
I failed one class in my first semester. It was macroeconomics. Like
I've never taken one.
Like analysis of microeconomics. And it wasn't anything to do with my major or anything, so I just stopped going because I was like, why the fuck am I taking this?
Right.
And I didn't drop it in time, so I just
failed it. Yeah.
So I think starting off like that, I was like, well, I'm a failure. And it was never good enough.
Right.
And I looked at my grades and I was like, I did good.
Right.
So weird.
It is weird. It's so weird.
So down on myself all the time.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Anyway. I just realized I had a pattern in my schooling.
Was it straight A's?
No. I had straight A's in 8th grade. Like, I was very into, like, school. Like, I wanted to be the best, of course. And I had great friends that also wanted to do well, so it was good. Straight A's when I graduated 8th grade. And then in 9th grade, I just, like, lost the drive. And I got a D in my English class. But it was also, like, learning words and taking tests, and we had to do it all the time. I just didn't study for them. And so I hated that, of course, because I was like, okay, well, why the heck are my grades slipping? And it was because I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and binging on it and watching Degrassi. So, like, I was not studying when I should have been.
Right.
I was doing all these other things, but some of my friends around me were still doing well, and they were able to, like, watch TV and also do well, you know?
Yeah, balance.
Balance, yeah. But I didn't see it that way. I'm just like, okay, well, they're able
better
to do
than me.
better. Yeah. But then after that, when I moved to California, I picked up my grades. I was getting great grades, like straight A's and B's, you know? And then my last semester, when I didn't get the straight A's, I got that 1B. And then when I went to college, it happened again. And I just realized that in my head right now. And I didn't, like, get bad grades. I just didn't do as well as I would have wanted to.
Well, it's so exhausting.
Yeah.
It's
to keep
so
going.
hard to just, I mean, yeah, no,
it's just interesting.
So intense.
It is intense. And it did end up getting a D in a class, and I tried in that class. Like, I tried.
That's hard.
And I was so exhausted from that class, and I had to retake the class, and I went to every single class, and he was a student teacher teaching a high-level class, and he didn't know what he was doing at all. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, you guys are going to start writing 10-page papers due every Monday when you come into class for over a month. We had to write 10-page papers over the weekend. And it was just, he didn't know what he was doing. He had no idea. So I took this class. I showed up to every class.
Are you exaggerating?
Nope. And I'm not exaggerating. 10-page papers for a month and a half every weekend.
On what?
Whatever the chapters were. I bullshit that shit out of those papers.
I bet you he didn't even read them. How do you read 10 pages for like 60 students?
Because more than half the class dropped out. By the time I was done with that semester of that class, retaking that class, out of, I want to say it was probably like 45 students, there were 10 of us remaining. He didn't give me a fucking A in that class. I did every single thing. I read the chapters. Actually, I did read a lot of chapters in that because I had to read the book.
What?
Wrote the 10-page papers. He gave me a B+ in that class, and I was just like, fuck you.
What a dick.
And then I saw him dancing at a gay bar a few months later, and I was like, this is where you belong. You're good at doing this. Keep doing this. Don't teach. Because you're a great dancer.
Oh. Like a dancer? Not on the dance floor.
No, like a dancer. Yeah, like professional dancer. Yeah. You know.
Stop.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Totally deviate. We're on the last thing anyway. Sean and Emily have a baby, but that was in the chapter before.
Wasn't it?
1 pound baby.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're born at 26 weeks. What's happening in Cambridge?
So she has to write for something. I don't remember what it is exactly, but she's all nervous about it, and she works really hard on the writing.
Yep.
And she turns it into that professor that she got close to.
From Cambridge.
And the professor said, I've been working here for 30-something years, right? Like
30 years, yeah.
And this is the best piece of writing I've ever read.
That's...
I felt so much joy for her.
Can I do a little personal anecdote real quick?
Yes.
Oh my God,
please.
So, I was a senior and I was taking advanced English, and I didn't want to take it. I only wanted to take one AP class. I wanted to do like a history class. I didn't want to take two because I'm like, what if I can't handle it? Totally fine. You know, you can handle more than you think. So I wrote a paper on Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. How Sonia, the main character, although she is a sex worker in the book, she has parallel like characteristics as Jesus.
Okay.
So I wrote this whole paper on how, you know, she's kind of like the Jesus character, even though of all these other things.
Right.
And I got an A 100% on that paper.
Whoa.
The guy that was the salutatorian, he was the smartest guy. He got into Princeton, everything. He got a 98.
Jessica. Good job.
Yeah, I'm still like, when I saw, because she pinned up papers that were like in the A's, and when I saw I got a higher grade than him, I'm just like, I'm the smartest kid in school. Can't get an A in pre-calc, but I'm the smartest kid in school. I'm good enough to go to Princeton.
100%.
I'm so proud of that paper, though. I actually like worked hard on it.
Totally.
Ugh, I guess.
I know. I do still have some papers that I wrote in college that I'm like, oh, Good point. Like,
so good.
solid sound foundation.
Yes. Yeah, so that happens to her.
That's the last thing I
Really want to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they are trying to get her to stay at Cambridge, but I don't think she decides if she's going to do it yet, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she's not sure if she can afford it.
She's also just, like, not sure of herself in general. So after this, we finish the book.
It's such a bummer that nobody in her life has ever told her that it's okay to be scared, because it shows, like, how far you can go and, like, how capable you are if you pursue it. You know, she's never had to, like, has gone through her entire life with those blinders on.
Right.
And never had to think about anything, really, except for day to day.
Right.
There's never been a time to ponder life or ponder her existence or anything like that. And so...
And I thought that was really interesting with this as well, is that that last chapter, how she talks about, I rather be criticized than be given a compliment.
Yes.
You know?
That was
because
very intense.
It's so intense, and that just shows you what's happened to her psychologically, you know? Where, she's never thought she was good enough. She's always been cut down, and she's not sure how to take compliments.
Kindness.
Yeah, kindness. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we finished the book.
Okay.
After this,
we're done. But okay, this is a I'm so excited. Jess has her notes.
I have so many. I have a box full of random stuff. It's not just notes, it's pictures.
Oh, okay.
This is my oldest friend, Courtney, when we would go to Walmart and have our pictures taken.
Oh, glamour shots?
Not quite glamour, because it's
They're
Walmart.
Pretty I like bangs on you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pull them off
You
now.
are so cute.
I was so tan then.
I know.
Because my mom had a pool, so I was in this pool every single second of the day.
Friends forever.
Friends forever. So yeah, it's so funny. Oh my gosh. Braces. She doesn't wear her hair curly anymore, which makes me sad.
Oh. What? No. Give me that. Give me all of them. Gimme.
This is me. Remember Anahita that I talked about? She's a German exchange student that stayed with us. And then this is my ex-boyfriend. Look how long my hair was. I know. I was so goth. Punkish, I guess, because
Your hair was that long?
I didn't even know it was that long until I saw these pictures.
So cute.
Yeah, crazy, right? I mean, I have so many. I have so many developed photos. So I have a note. I don't know who it's from. So, hey kiddo, LOL, your notes make me laugh. And okay, well, have fun at the drill meet and call me if you end up not going, or WE, whatever. Smiley face.
Yes.
Do you want to come with us on Monday to film? Because I have a feeling Tony's going to flake out and we're going to need someone to play the dead girl. ... But yep, I want to shoot Miss Mac in the face. LOL, she pisses me off and her voice is like an annoying little kid's. Like one of those snobby rich kids. Haha, but yep. I found out how to get on MySpace on the school computers because they had them blocked.
Yes.
Yeah. Woo woo. OMFG. I'm such a fat kid. I'm so hungry. LOL. And I know, me too. I think she's saying that like about me. Like I don't know. Anyway, A/B.
W probably. Is it
No,
W/B?
it's A. About the PMS thing. Me too about the I must have said I have PMS. Okay.
Oh.
I know, me too about the PMS thing. It's crazy. LOL. I'm reading the gayest book. She meant like an actual, because she's I'm pretty sure I know who this is now, and she was bi.
Oh.
I'm reading the gayest book. I love it. LOL. Anyway. Bye. You want to read one?
I just have a little poem from when I was in elementary school.
I have poems too.
The poem is called I Am. I am Demetra. I wonder, so how this was set up is all the things in the beginning, like it's I wonder, I hear, I see.
Oh, cool.
And so this is when I was 7 years old. So we just had to fill in
That's so cute.
the thing. Okay.
Oh my God. Who typed it up for you? The teacher?
The teacher.
Okay.
I wonder if I will be famous. I hear birds singing. I see the stars at night. I want to fly. I am 7 years old. I pretend that I am invisible. I feel puppy fur. I touch my bed. I worry a lot of times.
Oh.
I cry at sad movies. I am going to turn 8 on May 7th. This is hilarious. I understand math. I think I wanted to really convince the reader that I wasn't
Like who
insecure.
you were.
I say nice words. I dream that I am a movie star. I try to learn new things. I hope I get a puppy. I am proud to be me.
I feel like I might be Demi at 7 years old sometimes, you know? Minus being good at math and turning 8 in May.
Same.
Yeah. So I have poems from somebody in the past.
Is it from a boy?
It's from a boy.
Okay.
But the boy shall remain nameless. Like, I have poems.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
She's got handfuls.
So many handfuls. I'm just picking one up.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Oh, wait, no, I can't read that one because then you'll
Give me
figure out
it.
who it is.
I-
Yeah, you'll read it later. Okay, can't read that one. The accelerated beat of my longful heart pulls me from my dreams and wakes me with a start. So I open my eyes to see your face, but all I find next to me is an empty space.
I thought I was going to say a pillowcase.
That's way better. Oh my god, it's way better. Oh my god. Damn it. He missed his chance. Then my heart begins to sink to a feeling so low, then I begin to miss you more than you can know. But don't worry, just know one thing, that knowing that our love exists makes my heart rejoice and sing. But I need to say one thing, this you already knew, but I'll say it again. I love you.
Oh my god.
I can't.
I kind of can.
I kind of can't. Read one more. There we go,
Okay.
and then we're done.
All right.
Yes, I want this one so bad.
So do I tell him who
Yes.
I wrote? Okay.
Yeah,
so
you have to say the whole thing.
I wrote to the President of the United States when I was 11 because I was very concerned about September 11th.
Right.
And I was feeling kind of weird about it. So
It was very scary.
it was scary. So this is George W. Bush's response. Dear Demetra, thank you for writing. I appreciate your friendship and support. I am honored to serve as a President of the United States. During these challenging times, Mrs. Bush and I have been humbled to see the strength, goodness, and compassion of the American people. The war on terrorism is a battle of good versus evil. Students often ask me, what can I do to help my country in this war? One way to fight evil is to do good. I believe young Americans can help by studying hard, making right choices, and serving others. I also encourage you to learn more about our great country and life in the White House at www.whitehousekids.gov or www.whitehouse.gov. Your school and local libraries also have many good books of our nation and its history. Mrs. Bush joins me in sending our best wishes. God bless you and God bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush.
Oh my god.
And
And he
then
sent a
I-
picture.
And then he sent a headshot. Glamour shots by Deb.
Glamour shots. Did he get a keychain when he took a picture?
A boondoggle?
A boondoggle. Oh my god. I love how it's like, your local library will have good books on this. I'm like, you don't know where I live.
Our library burned to the ground.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Bush.
I love that. Thank you for your friendship and support. I'm not saying anything. Yeah.
How do you know that I want to be your friend?
I was 11. I was very choosy with my friends. Sweet.
Anyway, we're going to go watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and
goodbye.
you guys have to, too.
Yeah.
We know that
Yeah.
you're watching.
You have to be.
So
If
thank
you're
you
not-
so much for your friendship and support. Read to the end of the book. God
Yes.
bless you and God bless America.
George W. Bush.
Signing off, George W. Bush.
Love always.
Love always. Can I just say one thing? Bye.